What's up, guys? It's Duke here from SportsGamers.com, and in today's Madden 20 tip video, I want to break down the best run defense in the game to stop those stretch alert, stretch RPO, HB dive formations that everybody runs online. These are some very, very tough runs, some very good running formations. We all know that when we play online, we often play people that run the strong H-wing, the I-form H-wing, and run those stretch alert, HB dives into the dirt, and they're very tough to stop. Honestly, guys, even some of the best run defenses in the game, like the edge blitz, just don't really do that great of a job against these runs anymore. So I'm going to show you guys the best run defense to completely lock these down, whether they're an I-form, the I-form H-wing, or the strong H-wing, and we're going to look at the stretch dive combo. So I'm actually going to be in the big nickel over G, which is found in pretty much majority of the defensive playbooks in the game, so should be something that everybody can use. It's going to be a very easy setup that also is pretty solid against the pass, so you don't give up anything easy passing-wise. Now, I will say that I do recommend having auto flip on when you run this defense because a lot of times people will try to come out and flip it or just come out and flip and just misalign you. And if you have auto flip on, you're always going to be good to go. So we're going to be in the big nickel over G, and we're just going to literally call the play cover one hole. That's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to press coverage, and we're going to get on this deep safety and pinch the D-line. Now, one thing I want you guys to note about this is when we come out in this stretch alert, you're actually going to see that this linebacker right here that's normally manned up in the fullback is actually on a spy assignment. So it's basically a tell to let you know that they're in the stretch alert, because if you see they audible to a pass or the dive even, that guy is no longer even in a spy. I mean, sometimes he doesn't even have an assignment. So it is definitely a tell. As you guys can see here, he's no longer in a spy on a dive or a pass play. He's only on a spy on the stretch alert. So it's a little bit of a tell that will let you guys know whether they're running the stretch alert even or not. But this is literally the only thing you have to do is just press and pinch the D-line and play in the safety kind of in the box. You guys will see that this run defense is going to completely lock this up. You should not give up more than a few yards here and there. They got about 2 to 3 yards there. We're completely fine with that. We just press, pinch the D-line. And most of the time, what's going to happen right there is what happens most of the time is that D tackle, right, kind of directly over the center, but a little bit, you can see slanted towards the right. He gets really good penetration kind of in that right A gap and kind of just blows the play up to make that guy take it outside. And again, this is kind of, it is a cover one defense, so we have someone in the box on the right. It's just the box is completely loaded. You see that we have 4D linemen, so that automatically is going to make it harder to run up the middle with the dive. Then we have the 2 linebackers, and we have a safety and a corner in the box. So we essentially have 8 defenders in the box, plus this corner over here, plus our user. We basically have everybody in the box except for this one corner. So that's why this is so hard to run on, is because even though we're not really blitzing, we just have so many people in the box when we press and pinch the D-line that it's going to be nearly impossible for them to get any yards. I mean, like you guys can see there, that D tackle is going to disrupt this play the majority of the time, so you don't even have to do anything. But even if he does not do that, the box is so loaded, there's really nowhere for the running back to go, and you often can just shoot him with your user to make the tackle in the backfield. But I would definitely make sure you have some sort of athletic defensive lineman where you see we have number 99, who's Buckner. You can see him. He is the key to this defense. He is going to cause so much disruption that they're going to be hard pressed to get any sort of yards running this play ever. As you guys can see here, he kind of just, the angle he's on kind of just splits through and kind of just knifes in that backfield, and he's able to disrupt the play before it even really gets started, which is basically the whole key to this play, which is why it's going to be locked up so well. Now, like I said, that doesn't happen every single time, but most of the time you will get some sort of shoot in the backfield animation like that. And even if you don't, like I said, as you guys can see, we didn't really there. It's just such a loaded box that he's only going to get a few yards, even if that guy doesn't knife into the backfield to disrupt the play. Again, guys, just look again. You can see that even if he doesn't, there's nowhere to go. Now, the reason why I notice sometimes, normally when he doesn't do it, it's because the linebackers just move around too much. So you definitely don't want this linebacker in the 3 rec coming up in the gap or anything. You kind of just want them to stay like a normal linebacker depth, in all honesty. It's fine if this guy comes up, but you definitely don't want the other guy coming up. Just the one, if any one, as you guys can see there. Again, there's just nowhere to go. Even when he's not blowing it up himself, he he's disrupting the play enough that, they're going to have to run into our loaded box, which is never going to be a good thing for them. As you guys can see there again, he's able to easily just make that tackle in the backfield. Now, if you want to make sure those linebackers don't come up in the gap, if you don't like that, you can just spread them out, kind of just move them back to the inside a little bit, just like that. So now they're not going to be up in the gaps, and you don't have to worry about that. So that's another little tip. But as you guys can see here, I mean, it's pretty much dead in the water before it gets started most of the time. And like I said, because the box is so loaded, even if he doesn't knife through like that, there's just really nowhere to go. I mean, there's no holes anywhere. There's too many defenders in the box. So again, all I'm doing is pressing, pinching my D-line. And the only other thing you can do if you don't want these linebackers like to shoot up in the gap, like mug the gap, like sometimes they will do, is you can just spread them out and then kind of just slide them in a yard or two so they're not so spread out. But that will keep them at linebacker depth at all times. Like I said, they don't always go up in the gaps. That just happens sometimes. So if you just want to avoid that, you also going to spread them out so that never happens. You guys can see again, like that time we didn't get the most penetration, but once again, there's nowhere to go, so I'm just there with my user, and that's, again, no yards. Truly see how consistent this really is. This is not something that, they're once in a while just going to be able to get a big play. I mean, there truly is nowhere to go. If you have any sort of stick skill whatsoever on the safety, you're going to basically always, worst case scenario, be there for the tackle. They're just never going to have anywhere to go. Most of the time, your D-tackle, to be quite honest with you, is just going to do what he did just there and blow the play up. Even though he didn't make the tackle, he did enough to where they had to avoid him, and, there was just nowhere to go after that. And, most of the time, well, not most of the time, but a lot of times that's what's going to happen right there, which is he's just going to go in the backfield, blow it up himself. Even if he breaks a tackle, he's still only going to get a few yards before the rest of our troops are there. So that's the stretch. The stretch is you guys can see it's not going to work. All right, guys, now I want to break down the HB dive. So the HB dive is very easy to stop as well. I mean, really, we're going to do the same setup, just pinch our D-line and press and control the safety in the box. I mean, the dive, really, they just don't have anywhere to go. So I just stand there with my user and basically clean up. I just let my, my defensive front honestly just do their job. And again, guys, you can notice, though, they're no longer in the stretch alert because this guy's no longer in a spy when they audible to any other play. But that's, that's something nice. But, yeah, like with the dive, again, just press, pinch your D-line, and you don't really have to do anything. I mean, most of the time they just have nowhere to go. So just sit there with your user and just clean up on the play if need be. I mean, I'm just pressing, pinching my D-line. Like I said, if you don't like these guys coming up in the box, just spread them out and then just kind of move them each back in a step so they're not too far spread out. And yeah, I mean, I just basically stand here, wait to see where the guy goes, and if I need to make a tackle, I will. But most of the time, he's just running right into either my defensive line or a safety or a linebacker or somebody. So there's really no room to work with. And again, I mean, I'm just in a cover one defense with blitzing my front four, so I'm not doing anything too crazy. Obviously, I can do different coverage adjustments if I want, like I can shade, I can put different people in coverage, like, whatever I want to do, that's completely fine. It's not gonna be a huge deal, but I just want to focus on the run game, which, as you guys can see here, there's nothing they're gonna do. Now, the only other thing sometimes people will do on the dive is they'll just motion this tight end from the right to left. So I do want to go ahead and look at that real fast. Sometimes people they'll just go ahead and they'll motion the tight end from right to left. Guys, we're going to do the same thing as far as just pinching our D-line and pressing, using their safety in the box. But the dive is still not going to work very well at all. You guys can see here, we can just stand here and, there's nowhere for him to go. He did fall forward to gain an extra yard or two, but, we'll take that result every time. That's not going to hurt us. Now, the last thing I want to show is that this works the same against the strong H-wing as it does the I H-wing. If they try to run that stretch alert or ISO or anything out of this formation, it's going to work the same way. So again, we're just going to big nickel over G, cover one, hole, we just press, pinch our D-line, bring the safety in the box, that's it. Now, the thing here is on this one, you don't get that that same spy on this guy right here that you do on the strong H-wing on the fullback. So that's no longer going to be there. As you guys can see, like, you get audible around, like, we're not going to get that guy on a spy. So that tell is not there in this formation, but still it pretty much works the same way. That you're going to see that guy, he's just going to blow it up the majority of the time. And even if he breaks the tackle, like Barkley's a freaking beast, we're still there. Like, we just have such a good overall defensive front that's very, very, very good against the run, that even if this guy doesn't glitch in and blow it up, I mean, there's nowhere to go. So, like I said, I've I've been labbing, to find a better run defense to stop this stuff because I know a lot of people are still running these runs, and honestly, lately the edge blitz and even the 3-5 wide have not worked that well against it. But this has been the answer for me, as you guys can see. That time we didn't even get the glitchy D-line penetration, but again, just everyone's in the box. That's part of the reason why 3-4 odd in general has been so good this year. Is it's just everybody's in the box. The safety's in the box on the strong side, and it's just hard to run on. And we're getting sort of the same effect here, but the defense overall is just different, and in my opinion, we're just way better. As you guys can see, even when we don't get that glitchy animation for the D lineman coming in the backfield, there's nowhere to go. All I'm doing is pressing, pinching the defensive line, using the deep safety in the box, and any coverage adjustments I want as far as shading goes, I can do. You guys can see here, most of the time, that guy is going to blow it up himself, but you've seen quite a few examples where he didn't necessarily blow it up himself, and we still were not able to get any yardage. So, had a lot of requests on how to stop this run, this little run scheme out of the stretch RPOs from the I-form H-wing, strong I-H-wing, and then also the dive too. Should do a great job. Hope you guys enjoyed the tip. Be sure to smash that like button, and if you want more great Madden 20 content in the meantime, be sure to check out sportsgamers.com for the best Madden 20 tips and ebooks available.